which is all y'all should know is 1090 Jake. He did a video on this Young Thug thing. Remember I talked about it yesterday. So Young Thug, there's some paperwork that's floating around that alleges that Young Thug gave information to a police officer in the back of a police car about a potential, not even a potential murder, about an actual murder. Now, here's the thing. What we've noticed is the trend when these prosecutors start getting their backs to the ropes, this and third, they're now leaking interrogation footage. Okay, they leaked the interrogation footage of a underage Melly. They leak interrogation footage of a lot of people who have been, anytime they start getting martyrized in hip hop, they leak the interrogation footage to show that these guys are humans. And when they get put under those bright lights and in that room with it only opens one way, and they start getting interrogated, they all give up information. So apparently they had some information that may or I'm guessing either Young Thug's team or maybe they got tipped off that it might be coming out soon or potentially might be introduced into court. And his lawyer got proactive on it, saying, yo, we got to block this footage from coming out. It should not be used. It is irrelevant. And also, he was young. Now, it's kind of confusing because they said all those things and they still said it don't exist because they said he never did it. So I don't know which one it is, but regardless, this is what's going on. And let me play this 1090 Jake video, probably give you a better understanding of what's going on.
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on Young Thug being accused of snitching.
Listen, man, I'm going to tell y'all this right now. I've been telling y'all once y'all open up this snitch Pandora box, it was not going to go good. Because everybody thought it was only, again, y'all going to keep saying, no, it's because you like 6ix9ine. No. I think people thought that everybody were superhuman street niggas and always operated well. A lot of these dudes, again, there's variations of snitching. There's taking a stand snitching. There is, hey, yo, you call me with some weed, but the cops say, yo, I'll let you go right now with it, but you gotta tell me who you got it from because I know you just bought it. Be like, yo, I got it from nigga up the block. He up there standing by the corner store. Like right now he getting like a grilled cheese. Go get that nigga. All right. Is that snitching? They don't got, like, the cop might just put it in the affidavit saying that he randomly went to the store. He might not put your name in there as a confidential informant or someone who gave him information. Did you snitch? Kind of the same thing, right? There's so much very different variations. Then it was like, oh, it's about paperwork snitching. So if you're not on paperwork, putting somebody in jail. So there's, like, this is why the streets are just fucking stupid because nobody wants to keep it black and white. There's mad gray areas. And if, your op did it, it's snitching. And if your friend did it, he got tricked. You know what I mean? You're a gunner. Y'all got tricked to doing that. So now we seen it get pointed at some of our favorites. Shit, it got even pointed at YNW Melly. And now we love Melly. Now it's getting pointed at King Slime. People are now asking, is it King Slime or is it King Snitch? Think about this. You don't think the snitching shit going too far? I think it is. Okay. Now, obviously this matters because people are saying that, well, we don't like Gunna because King Slime told us that Gunna's a snitch. Well, we also said, well, King Slime's brothers wrote the same statements as Gunna, and he's very cool with his brothers. So, but there is no type of standard or basis of we're going to just keep it black and white. It's about if you don't like that person or if you feel that person like did you wrong, they're a snitch. But if you love that person, that's still a real nigga. You know what I mean? He did what he had to do. This is why this whole snitching shit, I really don't have a horse in the race, but I do like mentioning it because y'all sell a career and y'all convince the audience that y'all are the realest niggas that's ever existed in life. And once people buy into that, you sell 1 million records and you mislead the youth who eventually go ahead, catch these charges thinking that people won't snitch on them because they think they're the realest too. But the reality is 95% of the time, people cooperate one way or the other, okay? Whether they might not give up a person's name, they might just say, man, I ain't gonna tell you who was there with me, but I'll tell you where the gun at. But if the cop go find a gun, he gonna test it for DNA. Now we got both y'all DNA. Now we caught the nigga. In your mind, you're like, I didn't tell on him. I only told him what the gun was. I only told on me, really. I told on the gun that I had. Yeah, nigga, but y'all both had the gun to do this crime. So again, this whole snitching shit I've been telling you is fucking stupid. So eventually it's gonna point at every single rapper who claims they too tough. Okay? Now it's pointing at King Slime. They're asking, is it King Slime or is it King Snitch? Let's watch the video.
Within the battlefield of Atlanta's Superior Court, back-to-back bombs have dropped, exposing members of YSL for snitching. Gunna responded in his new song saying he was tricked by his own lawyer and the DA. An audio released by DJ Akademiks would reveal Young Thug dissed Gunna while speaking with Dirk, and now the king of YSL himself has allegedly stepped on a mine as a piece of his past sent shockwaves through the internet. Young Thug's own lawyer, Brian Steele, would file a motion to keep the prosecution from using a witness, specifically a man named Detective Quinn. The motion would state Detective Quinn wrongfully believes he met with Young Thug in the back of his police car concerning a murder. The motion would further state Young Thug gave information on the murder case. The very thought of Young Thug, who's been portrayed...
Let me also pause this. This Detective Quinn, we gotta do digging on everything. Detective Quinn, Atlanta. He's a guy who's very known. This is him right here. He had a show that was popping up about homicides. He's a well decorated detective out of Atlanta.
I'll never know why the jury didn't convict, but they did.
This is a Detective Quinn.
But it made me understand I had to get better. The lieutenant walked over to my desk. Everybody was crowded around. Here's your first homicide, Quinn. This brother got shot here in Atlanta. Was up in Grady Hospital for about 11 days. The ambulance that transported his brother from the scene, for whatever reason, they didn't call the police because they had done some errors on the transport. They didn't see the brother was shot. Grady Hospital released the victim too early. He was only 11 days. He had 5 gunshots. He was grabbing nurses in the hospital, and so they got him up out of there. They just pushed him onto a bus. So the 2 chest tubes down in him, sitting here, the blood, collecting in him. He went into full arrest halfway through the trip. He just died. It took about 6 months to put all the evidence together to understand this was a homicide. And I found out from the 911 call. I listened to the tape. And it was a sister at a trap house dialing 911 for somebody shot.
Not on Cleveland Ave.
So I went up there to the trap house because I got to find the sister that called it in. I saw the little screen door had a hole in it. I said, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to wait till sisters come up to try to get served. And I'm going to take them back and I'm going to interview them and I'm going to play their voice against the tape I had. That's exactly what happened. If you're afraid of bullets as a cop, you're not going to get anything done. If you're afraid of the street, the people you serve, you're not going to get anything done. And here's the crushing part of that whole case. I put all that together. The person was found not guilty. I had procedure in my head when we went to trial. I met the prosecutor at the trial, which is never good. I never looked at the jury on that first trial. I looked straight ahead. I was a young homicide detective. I knew everything about the street, but I had never really been to trial. I mean, you don't go to trials as a patrolman. You lock them, tag them, bag them, it's over. I decided I would never, ever, ever put a case up for prosecution without getting inside that jury box. That was my life. So I gave the jury a piece of me, and after that, I never could miss.
Okay, so that's Mr. Quinn that allegedly met a very young thug in the streets. And that's the Mr. Quinn that Young Thug's lawyer now, Brian Steele, is saying is lying. They're saying Mr. Quinn never met with Young Thug, right? Detective, look, you see Detective Quinn. Oh, wait, hold on, sorry. Oh, my bad. Based on information, blah, blah, Detective Quinn wrongly stated, or he says may wrongly state, that Jeffrey Williams was in the back of their police car at some point and gave information. Okay? So we'll keep playing.
Information on the murder case. The very thought of Young Thug, who's been portrayed as an Atlanta gang lord using members of YSL to commit murder, who's been named as the 5-star general of sex, money, murder by a gang detective in the YNW Melly trial, the thought that Young Thug himself may have possibly snitched in a murder case has left fans speechless. Thug's lawyer would state the detective wrongfully believes and may wrongfully state Thug was in the...
You know what's so interesting? And I like when people... You ever see people throw these colloquials around when it comes to like in hip-hop? They're like, yo, Vlad is the feds. They'd be like, yo, nah, Ak will snitch on you. You know, in reality, because I don't do crime, and because we ain't gonna be doing no crime together, it's impossible for me to snitch on you. It's impossible. I won't see you do nothing. I ain't with you when we doing nothing. We ain't plan nothing. I can't tell on you. The only possible people that could be snitches are the gangsters themselves. It's all the people who claiming they so tough they would never snitch. Because sometimes they try to talk down on civilians. Oh, yeah, we know you tell. Motherfucker, what do you mean you know somebody will tell? You know they won't commit the crime. That's what you should say. Y'all claiming y'all committing the crime. It's the only people who could tell are the people who know or who did it. But they never tell you that part.
In the back of his police car and gave information in the murder. The lawyer would claim this is untrue, and because the evidence is not accurate, goes against Thug's character, and is irrelevant in the trial, the evidence must be excluded. But the most suspicious line in the entire motion is not the accusation, it's the last sentence. Supposedly, young Thug was a very young man at the time of this supposed interaction with law enforcement.
Facts, which what does that mean? You said somebody's going to state that this happened, but they're going to incorrectly state that it's happened because it never happened. So you're basically trying to say this is not true. This doesn't exist. It wasn't Young Thug. Then you're also saying, well, also, by the way, he was very young at the time this may have happened.
If Thug's lawyer is alleging it never happened, why would he mention Thug's age at the time of the incident to the judge, as if his young age would excuse what happened? That last sentence only makes me think there could be more to the story, and obviously with Young Thug's reputation, it's vital for the lawyer to keep that information from making its way to the public. Looking into Young Thug's criminal past, his earliest arrest dates back to 2008 when he broke into a Jeep by breaking the window. But I was unable to find a case of thugs in which Detective Quinn was listed as one of the officers involved. A Google search of Detective Quinn, Atlanta homicide, would bring up none other than David Quinn, the retired homicide detective who could be seen on First 48 and now hosts a true crime TV show titled Atlanta Homicide. Retiring from law enforcement in 2015, this was one of Atlanta's highest decorated detectives who was directly responsible for the investigation that resulted in Atlanta's first successful gang prosecution. If this is in fact the same detective prosecutors are attempting to bring forth as a witness in the YSL case, it's undeniable his name, along with his reputation and testimony, will hold weight. But what's the purpose? While many were quick to assume Thug snitched, there isn't one detail given as to what he allegedly said to the detective. Unless we're assuming the lawyer wants it hidden because Thug gave up vital information, the lawyer could also be trying to keep it under wraps because the prosecutors are attempting to portray Thug as a former snitch to damage his reputation.
True.
Now, when I saw this motion, I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised. But thinking about it, rereading it, going over everything in my head, what would the purpose be of the prosecutors trying to bring in a detective who's been retired for years just for him to say, hey, Young Thug told me about a murder way back when? Now the lawyer's saying this isn't accurate information, but the time that this allegedly happened, Young Thug would have been very young. What is the relevancy in this? What is the point of bringing this back up other than to affect Thug's reputation? if we can portray him as a snitch, showing he formally cooperated after other snitches in the case have already been exposed, which is detrimental because nobody wants to testify now, which means if nobody's gonna testify when it comes time for Thug's trial, this could lead to a fucked up situation for the prosecutors. So if the prosecutors can make Thug look like a rat, maybe the actual rats in the case, they won't care to go up on the stand and say something against him. They won't mind. And as far as I know, damn near everyone already pled out. So in my head, I'm thinking, no details were given as to what he actually said. He could have been sitting in the back of the car on some bullshit. I'm assuming he was a juvenile because none of his arrest as an adult that I was looking at said anything about a detective named Quinn. Juvenile gets picked up. Hey, what happened in this situation? I don't know what happened. Or he lied, or he did a little finesse, or he did whatever he did. I don't know. I know that people will come up with a million excuses, and I know that there's some excuses that are going to be valid. If he gave fake information, if he gave a fake name, if he gave a fake scenario, whatever, and the detective wrote that down, the detective's going to say, well, he gave me information. Whether or not it was valid or not, we don't know. So fuck no, I'm not going for Thug's a snitch. I'm not going for none of the rumors or the accusations. We don't have enough proof to stamp that. The only thing that we can obviously see is this is coming from the prosecutors, the very same people that are trying to put Thug away. And for them to be trying to portray an image of him, that speaks louder to me than anything written in that motion. Now, as far as I know, a judge hasn't approved whether or not witness Detective Quinn will be testifying in the case. The lawyer just filed a motion saying he shouldn't be able to. If the judge approves that, Detective Quinn is gone. If the judge denies it, we may get more information on this. From my understanding, Detective Quinn will testify. We're literally gonna have the transcripts.
All right. Hey, let me just be honest, man. This is nasty, nasty work. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't feel bad for street niggas. I'm gonna give it to y'all straight. Y'all caused this. Y'all got a witch hunt out for snitches. Y'all act like, oh, anytime y'all ever been pulled over, y'all only say lawyer. You've never said nothing else. I remember using the same excuses for Boston Richie. People be young. Sometimes they don't know what's going on. So the cops take advantage of them all the time. Now y'all will realize not only the cops take advantage of you, yes, the DA takes advantage of you now. Oh, you're King Slime? You're the biggest fish in the pond? Everybody's supporting you like you're unfairly charged? Let's now make your reputation look crazy. Again, I can't feel bad for these niggas because they ain't want no nuance, period. This whole time while they're encouraging the rat hunt or the witch hunt for other people. So at this point, fine, let's see everybody's all y'all gangster rappers. I want to see every one of y'all interaction with the cops. I want to see every motherfucking surveillance tape, every body cam footage, every time y'all been arrested. Let's see if y'all really as solid as this. I'm sorry, I can't feel bad for anything. Now, granted, I know that this is a let's smear Young Thug's reputation, but remember Young Thug say he could smell a snitch from a mile away. I believe him. The way he talked, he would never do that. So I'm gonna think this is false. I don't know why his lawyer saying no, let it in. Let it in. Let's see it. If he did what he's been getting at other niggas for, he's a hypocrite. If not, clearly the fucking DA, fucking liars who try to pick on a black man, and we should support him more. But there is no, oh, let's not, nah, bring it out. We want to see it. Remember, he said he ain't with none of that fuck shit. So I'm assuming, I don't care if he was 3, he said, I ain't got nothing to tell y'all about no fucking murder. I'm a straight nigga. That's what I'm expecting to see. I want to see the footage, and I don't think it should be suppressed. No, I want to see it. I want to see that if whatever y'all been saying, because I've been believing y'all. I'm sorry, I've been believing y'all. That y'all are so real that y'all would never tell. That y'all would kill yourself before telling. I want to see it. So again, maybe the footage comes out and we realize the cops was just lying. Makes Thug look good to me. I don't think there should be no fear of him not looking good. if he's been saying he is who he is. Why are we saying we should hide it? Bring it out. Let's see what's up with it. All right. Next thing I got to talk about, man. Oh boy, this is kind of tough.